before the charts open, before the chaos begins. There's a moment of stillness. Most traders ignore it. They rush for the screen, chasing movement, chasing meaning, chasing control, but real trading doesn't begin when the bell rings. It begins in the quiet moments before it does, because the market is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It reflects your discipline, your patience, your fears, your truth. Every flicker of a candle is a conversation between your logic and your emotion. And if you can't hear that conversation, you'll never master the market because you haven't yet mastered yourself. This is not just a strategy. It's not another trading trick or secret formula. It's a mindset, a ritual, a new way to meet the market from the inside out. Welcome to Mind Over Markets, where we don't trade for adrenaline. We trade for awareness, where every loss is a lesson and every gain begins in silence. The first 15 minutes, that's where the market tests not your strategy, but your soul. Every trader knows that feeling. The moment the bell rings and the chart comes alive, your pulse quickens, your breathing shortens, and your brain whispers, "Go. Do something. Don't miss this." It's not logic speaking, it's dopamine. The chemical of anticipation flooding your system like a rush of adrenaline before battle. You think you're ready. You've studied your setups, checked your levels, read the news. But when those candles start printing, the plan fades and instinct takes over. You tell yourself it's intuition, but it's not. It's fear, disguised as confidence. 15 minutes. That's all it takes for your mind to decide whether today will be a story of discipline or destruction. Most traders don't lose because they're bad at reading charts. They lose because they can't read themselves. Let's be honest. The first 15 minutes of the trading day are chaos. Prices explode in every direction. Volume surges. Twitter screams. And somewhere in that noise, your brain tries to make sense of it all. But here's the truth. No one tells you. The market doesn't care about your emotions. It doesn't care that you stayed up late analyzing. It doesn't care that you're due for a win. The market will punish impatience and reward silence. Because in those opening minutes, the fight isn't between you and the chart. It's between your rational self and your impulsive self. The impulsive self is loud. It hates waiting. It's terrified of missing out. It convinces you that this trade right now is the one that will make your week. And so you click, you enter, and for a brief moment you feel powerful again. But that feeling, that fleeting spark of control is an illusion, a trick of the brain to justify emotion-driven action. A few minutes later, the chart reverses. Your profit vanishes. Your confidence shatters. And you find yourself whispering the same familiar line, "I knew it. I shouldn't have entered." Sound familiar? Let's talk about why this happens. There's a battle inside every trader. Two systems of thought competing for control. System 1, fast, emotional, instinctive. System 2, slow, deliberate, analytical. In the first 15 minutes, System 1 wins almost every because your body reacts before your brain can think. It's the same mechanism that made our ancestors run from predators, except now the predator is volatility. And instead of running, we chase. We chase green candles. We chase the feeling of being right. We chase the version of ourselves that we wish we were. The first trap, FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's not just about missing a trade. It's about missing validation. Because when the market moves and you're not in it, it feels like the world is moving without you. You start to believe that everyone else is winning, that you're the only one being left behind. So you jump in late, half convinced, half desperate, hoping to catch what's already gone. And deep down, you know you're not following your plan, you're following your pain. FOMO doesn't make you rich, it makes you reactive. And reactive traders don't trade the market. They trade their emotions. The second trap, overconfidence. It often comes disguised as preparation. You did your homework, you marked your levels, you told yourself you're ready. But overconfidence is a silent poison. It convinces you that because you expect something, you deserve for it to happen. You think, I analyzed this perfectly. The market should move my way. But the market owes you nothing. It doesn't care about your analysis. It doesn't reward effort, only execution. And when overconfidence meets reality, what follows is denial. You hold your losing position longer than you should because your ego can't stand to be wrong. You tell yourself it's just a pullback, but deep down you know it's your pride refusing to exit. Every second you hold that trade, you're not fighting the market, you're fighting your own reflection. The third trap, revenge from pre-market pain. You wake up remembering yesterday's loss. It still burns. And before the bell even rings, you're already planning your comeback. You're not trading today's market. You're trading yesterday's regret. You want to make it back. You want to prove you're not the loser the chart made you feel like. So you size up. You move faster. You force trades that don't exist. But revenge trading isn't about recovery. It's about ego repair. You're not trying to win money. You're trying to win back self-respect. And that's the most expensive trade you'll ever take. Every trader faces these traps, even the best. The difference is the best ones know they're there. They've built a ritual for the first 15 minutes. They treat it like a test of awareness, not a chance to strike gold. They don't ask, where's the opportunity? They ask, where's my mind right now? Because how you feel in those opening moments will determine how you trade for the next 6 hours. If you start with chaos, you'll chase chaos. If you start with calm, you'll attract clarity. The truth is, discipline isn't about controlling the market. It's about controlling the space between your impulses and your actions. The average trader acts. The exceptional trader observes. Observation is the superpower that separates emotion from execution. It's what keeps you from clicking that button just because your heart rate rises. The first 15 minutes aren't for trading. They're for listening. Listening to the market. Listening to your breathing. Listening to the subtle voice that tells you what emotion is about to take control. When you start treating those 15 minutes as a mirror, you stop reacting to price and start responding to behavior. Your behavior. Most people think trading is about timing the market. But in truth, it's about timing yourself. The best entry isn't when the chart looks perfect. It's when your mind feels neutral. Neutrality, that quiet middle ground between fear and greed, is where consistency lives. And the first step to reaching that place is mastering the first 15 minutes. Because that's where your instincts scream the loudest, and where your discipline has to whisper back, wait. When the bell rings tomorrow, remember this. Your biggest edge isn't your indicator or your analysis or your strategy. Your biggest edge is your ability to sit still while everyone else is losing their minds. The market rewards patience, but only after testing for it. So when you feel that rush, when your hand hovers over the buy button, ask yourself one question. Am I trading the chart or am I trading my emotions? Because in the first 15 minutes, that answer will define everything. The first 15 minutes are not a race, they're a ritual, a space between chaos and clarity where every trader must decide who they will be today. The average trader rushes in. The disciplined trader breathes in. The difference seems small, but in those breaths lies the difference between randomness and mastery. For the first 3 minutes after the bell, do nothing, absolutely nothing. Watch. Let the market reveal its rhythm. Every instrument has a tempo, the way price moves, the speed of orders, the tension in volume. When you rush to trade before you feel that rhythm, you're dancing to noise, not to music. Your job in these moments isn't to predict, it's to sense. Sense the energy, sense the pace, sense your own heartbeat, and notice whether it's faster than the market's. Because if your pulse is ahead of the chart, you're already behind. Around minute 4 or 5, turn your attention inward. Ask yourself one question. What emotion is leading me right now? Is it fear? Is it excitement? Is it boredom? Every emotion has a trading behavior attached to it. Fear creates hesitation. Excitement creates impulsiveness. Boredom creates forced trades. If you can name what you feel, you can neutralize its power, because awareness breaks the illusion of control. Say it silently. I feel anxious. I feel confident. I feel impatient. Then breathe slowly until the emotion loses its edge. You're not trying to be emotionless. You're trying to be unruled. Between minus 6 and 12, you start looking for harmony, not between indicators, but between your plan and your state of mind. If your analysis says trend trade, but your heart feels restless, you're not aligned. That's not discipline. That's inner conflict disguised as action. Alignment happens when your logic and your psychology move in the same direction. When your plan says wait and your emotions are okay with waiting. Most traders never reach that state. They follow a strategy built for data, but forget that they're human. The market doesn't move because of your plan. It moves because of behavior. And the first behavior you must master is your own. Now the clock hits minus 13. You've observed, you've checked yourself. You've aligned. Only now, only when the noise inside you has quieted, does execution have meaning. If your setup appears, you take it, not because you need it, but because it fits. If no setup appears, you do nothing, and you feel proud of that nothing, because restraint is a form of intelligence. Every click you don't make in chaos builds the capital of discipline. In trading, capital isn't just money. It's emotional energy, and every impulsive trade drains it. Protect that energy as fiercely as you protect your account. The bell has been ringing for 15 minutes. The first storm of the day has passed. Now pause. Take 30 seconds to write one line in your journal. What did I feel in the first 15 minutes today? That's all. Not what you traded, not what you earned, just what you felt. Do this every day for 30 days, and you'll start to see a pattern, the emotional cycles that shape your trading identity. Because data shows your edge on the chart, but reflection shows your edge in yourself. Some traders call this routine boring. They say, I didn't become a trader to sit still. But that's the illusion. You don't get paid to trade. You get paid to wait for your mind to be ready. Trading is 10% analysis and 90% emotional regulation. The charts are only mirrors. They reflect the person behind the clicks. Now let's go deeper. Why does this routine work? Because it reverses the natural order of the brain. When volatility spikes the amygdala, your fear center hijacks decision-making. It wants action, not logic. By forcing yourself to observe first, you shift control back to the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for reason and patience. You're literally rewiring how your brain trades. Every time you resist the urge to jump in early, you strengthen that neural pathway. Every act of discipline builds a habit of calm. And habits, not emotions, are what sustain profitability. Here's the paradox of trading psychology. The goal isn't to remove emotion. It's to become aware of it fast enough to choose differently. Emotion will always appear, but awareness gives you the choice to act from clarity instead of chaos. You can't stop the wave, but you can learn to surf it. Let's imagine two traders. The first wakes up, opens the chart, and jumps in. His trades are driven by hope, by fear, by impulse. When he wins, he feels unstoppable. When he loses, he feels broken. His day is a roller coaster, not because of the market, but because of his mind. The second trader wakes up and follows his ritual. He observes, he breathes, he waits. He's not trying to be perfect, he's trying to be stable. And because of that stability, his results compound quietly without drama. One trades the chart, the other trades his psychology. Guess which one survives? The greatest traders aren't the most talented. They're the most self-aware. They know their triggers. They know their stories. They know how easily confidence can become arrogance and how quickly fear can disguise itself as caution. They don't fight these emotions. They simply notice them and let them pass. This is the real edge, not pattern recognition, not market prediction, but self-regulation. Because the market is never your opponent. Your opponent is the voice that says, click now, hurry, don't miss out. When you can hear that voice and still choose silence, you've already won. The playbook isn't about what to do. It's about who to be when you do it. In the first 15 minutes, be the observer. Be the calm within the storm. Be the one who waits long enough for everyone else to make their mistakes. Your patience is their liquidity. Your awareness is their exit. Your stillness is your profit. And when the day ends, when the charts close and the noise fades, ask yourself one final question. Did I act like the trader I want to become? Not did I make money, but did I trade my plan, my mindset, my peace? Because if you protect your psychology, the profits will eventually follow. Trading is a mirror. And the market always reflects back the truth of who you are in that moment. So tomorrow when that bell rings again, remember your ritual. The first 3 minutes observe, the next 5 feel, the following 7 align and act only if your mind is quiet. This is your playbook. Simple, boring, powerful. You won't go viral for following it. You won't get adrenaline highs from it, but you will build something better: consistency. And consistency is freedom. Freedom from emotional swings, freedom from self-doubt, freedom from the need to prove anything to anyone. You can't control the first candle of the day, but you can control your first thought. And that thought can either say, I need to trade, or I need to center myself. One leads to chaos, the other leads to mastery. Choose wisely. Because the next 15 minutes will decide not just your trades, but your trajectory. Mind over markets. That's the real game. And the first move is silence. When the screens go dark and the day's noise fades into silence, that's when the real trading begins. Not with charts, not with prices, but with reflection. Because trading isn't just about capital in your account. It's about the capital of awareness inside your mind. Every trade you took today, every emotion that flickered between your entries and exits was a message, a signal from your subconscious telling you what you truly believe about risk, about worth, about yourself. Most traders ignore those signals. They close the platform, open social media, and escape into distraction. But if you sit in the quiet, if you listen, you'll start to see the patterns that define you. The hesitation before a breakout, the impatience after a red candle, the relief when you exit early, the guilt when you don't follow your plan. All of it is communication. And if you learn to decode it, you stop being just a trader and start becoming a student of your own mind. The truth is simple. The market will always mirror you. It will show you your strengths, but it will also expose your wounds. If you crave control, it will humble you. If you fear loss, it will test you. If you need certainty, it will confuse you. And that's not punishment, that's training. Because the market doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to refine you. Every loss, every hesitation, every moment of frustration is an invitation to look deeper within. The first 15 minutes of every trading day are not about predicting the market. They are about meeting yourself again. You meet the version of you that still struggles with patience, the version that wants to force outcomes, the version that forgets that money follows mindset, not the other way around. And each day you get to decide which version of you will show up, the reactive one or the aware one. So here's a thought. What if your trading journal wasn't a list of numbers, but a record of emotions? What if you measured your performance not by profit or loss, but by how often you stayed composed when the chart tried to provoke you? Because in the end, profit is a lagging indicator. Emotional control is the leading one. When you master your first 15 minutes, when you master the rush, the noise, the temptation, you begin to master the day. And when you master the day, you begin to master yourself. There's a quote I often remember: in trading, the market is the teacher, but your emotions are the exam. Every day is another test, and the score isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in presence. Were you present enough to notice the fear before it spoke? Present enough to pause before reacting? Present enough to walk away when nothing aligned? That presence, that inner stillness is your edge. Because presence creates perception, and perception creates profit. So as you close your charts today, take one deep breath. Let the tension leave your shoulders and ask yourself, did I honor my mind today? Because every time you honor your mind, you build the foundation for the trader you want to become. Consistency doesn't start on the screen. It starts in your nervous system, in your ability to stay calm when everyone else is chasing noise. You can't master the market until you master your reactions to it. That's the essence of trading psychology. Not motivation, not positivity, but awareness. Awareness of how easily your thoughts distort reality. Awareness of how emotion disguises itself as logic. Awareness of how your inner dialogue shapes every decision. When you cultivate that awareness, you become untouchable, not because you stop losing, but because losing no longer defines you. You stop needing to prove. You stop needing to rush. You stop needing to win every trade. You simply act from truth. You execute from peace. So tomorrow when the bell rings again, remember this. The first 15 minutes don't just test your setup. They test your state of mind. If you pass that test, you don't just win trades, you win time, energy, freedom. Because true freedom in trading isn't the ability to make money whenever you want. It's the ability to walk away and feel nothing. That's when you know you've evolved. You're no longer chasing the market. You're in sync with it, flowing, listening, responding. That's when you become what most traders never do, a professional of the mind. Mind over markets. That's not just a name, it's a philosophy. Because when your mind is still, the market reveals its truth. And when your mind is noisy, it hides it from you. So stay still, stay patient, stay present. The market will always test your psychology, but it will also always reward your peace. The first 15 minutes, they're not about action. They're about alignment. And the trader who aligns always wins in profit, in patience, in peace. If you've made it this far, you already understand something most traders never will. The real game is internal. The charts may change, the patterns may evolve, the technology may advance, but the human mind remains the same. The same impulses, the same fears, the same hunger for control in a world built on uncertainty. But awareness changes everything. It turns reaction into reflection. It turns fear into focus. It turns trading from a gamble into a practice. The market will always test you. It will whisper to your ego, provoke your impatience, and tempt your pride. But every time you choose patience, you win. Every time you choose awareness over impulse, you grow. Every time you choose stillness over chaos, you evolve. That is mastery, not perfection, but presence. Because trading isn't about predicting the future. It's about managing the present, managing yourself. So as you close this video, remember one thing. The edge you seek is not in your indicators. It's in your internal state. And when you master your state, the market begins to flow through you, not against you. This is Mind Over Markets, a reminder that in the end, Your calm is your strategy, your patience is your profit, and your stillness is your greatest edge.